I am so excited to announce the release of Naviate Architecture 2025 version 26.1.0. Now, all of the new features and improvements that I'm about to show you are also going to be available in our 2023 and 2024 Revit version releases. This release will also include all of the new feature improvements that we saw in our last 2026 release video, so make sure to check out those improvements and new feature updates. Let's dive in and talk about what is coming up in our 2026.1 release. We have one new feature, line cleanup. This will clean up overlapping lines of the same style with a single click. This will work for detail lines, model lines, room separation lines, and area boundary lines. Now let's talk about our improvements. We are improving 4 features: door or window drawings, room drawings, create area boundaries, and curtain wall elevations. For our door and window drawings, we have several improvements. 1, enhanced tag alignment on sheets, optimize dimension placements, only using non-flipped or non-mirrored doors, adding the family name as a prefix to elements of the same type name, enhanced view scaling to allow for any scale, and an updated UI for the progress bar labels. Next, our room drawings also have several improvements. Can create elevations without issues for rooms with floor coverings. Elevation views can now be created using offsets predefined in the settings dialog, similar to the section views. Separation lines are now recognized when creating your room drawings. Rooms can be sorted by name or number, and the settings have been improved to align with all of our other Naviate features. Create area boundary lines also has 2 improvements. This is one of our newer features. So we've improved the user interface. So now the drop-down selection excludes any previously selected walls. And we have enhanced placement of area boundary lines on curtain walls. Our last improvement is for creating curtain wall elevations, where we've added this to the transfer settings in Naviate Accelerate so that you can transfer all of your saved curtain wall elevation settings to other projects. Let's dive in and see this new feature and improvements in action. I am so excited to announce that we have a new feature in Naviate Architecture, the line cleanup feature, which will allow you to clean up overlapping lines, room separation lines, or area boundary lines in your views. It's in 2 parts. There's the line cleanup button on the main toolbar, and this is a one-click feature. And if you expand the group detailing, you'll be able to set the tolerance for the line cleanup as well. For the line cleanup, here are all the ways in which it is able to clean up lines. So you can see that this is representing how the lines will be overlapping, like this, with 2 or more lines with the same direction and with a connected line. 2 or more lines in the same direction, 2 or more lines in the same direction and alignment with no connections, some that have the same start points, and some that are completely exactly the same. And you can see how they will be created or merged into either one line or connecting lines. Let's go ahead and see this in action. Here I've created that same diagram with the different ways in which it will merge these lines that are overlapping. Here you can see how they are overlapping when moved apart. So once we select the line cleanup feature, which is again a 1-button click, it will give us a report and let us know what was successful and if there were any issues as well. So it successfully cleaned up overlapping lines, removed intersecting lines based on our tolerances, and successfully split any intersecting lines. So now we can see that this one with the intersecting line was adjusted, and the rest of them were merged into one line. And there you have it, our new line cleanup feature. In Naviate Architecture's door and window drawings features, we have several improvements in this release. The first improvement I want to talk about is in projects that have doors or windows with the same type name but different families. Now, in all of the examples I'm showing in this video, I will be showing them on the door drawing feature, although I want to note that it is applied to both the door and the window drawings. Here in this project, you can see that I have two doors with the same type name, but from different families. So when I show this in the UI of the door drawings feature, it's going to represent it by showing both the family name and the type name. The other improvements that I will show is with the optimization of placement of the dimensions and tags, the use of non-flipped or mirrored doors, so using the original swing direction of the door when selecting which doors to create the views from, and lastly, enhancing the view scale so that you can use any view scale when creating your door and window drawings. Now let's create our door and window drawings and see this in action. Here in the door drawings, you'll be able to see that those two doors that had the same type name now include the family name so that we can distinguish which one is which. And now I'm going to create my door drawing so we can see the optimization of the tags and dimensions and flip direction. Let's go and take a look at our door drawings. So here you can see all of my views are placed, all of the tags aligned across my different views, as well as the dimensions. Now let's go ahead and create door drawings for views at a different scale and see how that looks in comparison. And here we can see that even at a larger scale, all the door drawings were placed and aligned correctly. And those are all the improvements to the door and window drawings features. In Naviate Architecture, we have a series of improvements to the room drawings feature. I'll start with the first improvement, which is in creating our elevation views with rooms that have floor finishes. For example, in all of these rooms, I've used the Create Coverings feature to create a floor finish. If we look at this existing elevation, we can see that we have our floor finish modeled above our structural slab. If we were to use out-of-the-box Revit to create an interior elevation in one of these rooms, you'll notice that we have the issue where the elevation isn't taking the proper height. It stops at the modeled finish because it's reading the room as between the structural slab and the finished floor. Now, with Naviate, we've corrected this in the room elevation feature. So now when I select to create room drawings from this room that has a floor finish, it will create the elevations with the proper height. You can see all of our elevations have been created with the proper height. The next improvement has to do with the settings for the offsets. When I select to create my elevations for my room drawings, previously, these settings were only available when selecting to create your elevation views as sections, if you recall. Now, I have those same offsets when creating my elevation views. So So I can change these offsets. Create my elevation views. And see that the crop region is now offsetted by that value from my room. Next, we have two improvements to the user interface of the room drawings feature. The first is with the settings at the top. The settings have now been aligned with all other Naviate features to have a drop-down with all your settings, including a save, save as, rename, and delete button. We've also updated the room selection to be able to sort by either room number or previously by room name. Here you can switch to either sort by the name or sort by the number. And the last improvement is that we've improved functionality for rooms that are separated using a room separation line. So here I have a room separation line that is separating this space from the rest of the room. So here you can see the room separation line only encompassing this portion of the room. I can use my room drawings. And now when creating my elevation views that have a room separation line, they are created to that room separation line. So we can see here, it stops at the room separation line in all directions. And those are all of our improvements to the room drawings feature. We have two improvements in Naviate Architecture's Create Area Boundary Lines. The first improvement is in the user interface. So now when you go ahead and add new wall types, you won't see any wall types that have already been added to create area boundary lines from. So as you can see here, I can select one of my wall types, like this one, and next time I go and select it, it is no longer there. This is going to make it a lot easier to know which wall types to add to the list in the user interface. Now that I've gone ahead and added all of the walls that I want to make area boundary lines from, I'm going to create or update my area boundary lines. And the second improvement we can see is with our curtain panel walls. So now when there is a curtain panel wall alongside a basic wall, you can see that we've adjusted how the lines are placed so that they don't go across straight where the curtain wall is, but sit in the center line of the curtain wall, and we've added perpendicular lines to connect the line from the basic wall to the line of the curtain panel wall. And those are the improvements to create area boundary lines. You can now use the transfer settings feature in Naviate Accelerate to transfer your curtain wall elevation settings. So here in this project, I can select curtain wall elevations and see that I have 4 different settings in this project. I can then come to the project I want to transfer them to, go to Accelerate's Link and Sync tab, and select to Transfer Settings. Now you'll be able to see curtain wall elevations as an option to transfer settings to this new project. And now you're able to transfer those settings. And that concludes all of our new feature and improvements to Naviate Architecture 2026.1. Don't forget to read all of the details about this release in our release notes, as well as detailed information about the new feature and the improvements in our Pinnacle help guides. Check out Naviate Accelerate's improvements as well, and make sure to try these all out in the new version.